Est-ce que vous pouvez nous dire dans quelles images, dans quel bain d'images vous avez grandi?
I had my dad who's here. He was working as a graphic designer and illustrator, and my sister, she's now also working with children's books. So we were all the time experimenting at home a lot with this, and also, and my mother is she was working in kindergarten, so we had a lot of books at home. So it was, and we always had very good tools to work with. So it was like a lot of experimentations. I remember me and my sister in holidays, we would sit and make collages and try out different things of making things, and also kind of we had a bit atmosphere of storytelling together.
Vous avez évoqué Oslo et Stockholm, où vous avez fait 2 écoles d'art. J'allais vous demander tout simplement pourquoi 2 écoles d'art, ayant grandi dans ce bain d'images, dans ce bain d'histoire. On aurait pu penser à un parcours un peu autodidacte, et vous vous êtes formé longuement finalement.
Yeah, good question. But I think at the point when I did my bachelor in Oslo, and at that point when I finished around 2005-06 or something, I think at that point I didn't know I wanted really to work with children's books. I wanted maybe to work more with animation and illustration for magazine and kind of a different, which I do now, but it's become more and more the children's books. And I think at that point it wasn't really that kind of popular to to do illustration in Norway. It was more you were using more photographs for all kinds of things, while in Sweden they had more this very established tradition of using illustration for everything. And so when I started at the school in Stockholm, it was also a much bigger spectrum of illustration to be inspired by.
Et donc vous avez appris beaucoup de techniques, on imagine, et de savoir-faire pour finalement, dans vos livres pour enfants, vous affranchir, on sent, de beaucoup de contraintes, et on sent dans votre trait en particulier, on va d'abord parler du trait avant de parler des couleurs, on sent dans votre trait quelque chose d'une grande liberté, une grande spontanéité. Comment est-ce que vous dessinez? Comment est-ce que vous dessinez?
Generally, when I do kind of the most, I train a lot when I'm not working. So then, especially if I'm traveling, then that's when I pick up my sketchbook, and then I guess most of all I'm observing people, and I very seldomly draw directly from people or from what I'm looking at, but I'm kind of noticing some movements or faces or things that I think are interested, and then if I'm in an atmosphere when I have the time to observe, then I use the sketchbook a lot, and then I kind of try to remember some movements I thought is interesting, and I think that's I'm interested in observing. I think, or especially when I work with books, some books are actually done quite in like a creative rush, but a lot of my books that looks the most free and spontaneous are often I've worked with a lot, but I always do if I illustrate for someone else, then I get the script and I kind of immediately just sketch tiny thumb illustrations for all the scripts. And then I work for half a year doing millions of composition, and then I often decide to go back to the first one, because I think after trying everything else, I feel confident that the first intuitive idea was best.
Je voudrais parler des décors qui sont souvent dans vos livres fourmillants de détails. Les maisons, les intérieurs de maisons ou bien les rues sont comme des inventaires d'objets, parfois, là encore, des objets hybrides, parfois des objets cachés qui donnent une dimension ludique aux images, mais aussi une dimension de richesse. Comment est-ce que ces décors, là encore, enfin, pourquoi est-ce que vous rajoutez des choses? Comment est-ce que ça se passe de concevoir ces décors dans lesquels évoluent les personnages dont on va parler après?
When I'm illustrating a book, then I really need to work a lot with. I have big problems with making choices, so to just decide for them, especially the main characters, very hard, because then I have to decide and I have to stick with it, which is difficult for me. But then, so this is kind of usually a bit difficult process in the beginning, and then I work really hard to get the book to be as kind of tight as possible, to get the story to be kind of to sit well in both text and images and the kind of the flow in the book. But then when I feel all this is good, then I can kind of start to relax with the background, and I think then I really enjoy. I want there to be a balance where it's some kind of very large, how do you say, compositions, maybe just the face or it's simple, and then there's things that are more, you have to go more detailed. I like to pay attention to the balance of this, but then I have a certain number of spread where I can just really go into the bookshelf and draw tiny things and draw maybe lots of different weird people in a big environment and these things, and this is something I both enjoy, and I think it adds to the kind of repetitive reading of book for children, that you can go in, you can decide what level to be on.
Merci beaucoup.